You wanna get with this street code, I abide by to the letter. It's just me against me, I ain't feeling no pressure. There's no hoes barred with the shit, nigga, everything gon' go. Hoes come to see me, I miss a heart and hustle up with the flow. I used to stand in the crowd. Yeah. Yeah, I know what it is, nigga. You don't know what you know by now. No pressure, nah, I ain't feeling no pressure. No, I ain't stunting her, man, she wanna get on top of shit, I'ma let her. With this street code, I abide by to the letter. It's just me against me, I ain't feeling no pressure. There's no hoes barred with the shit, nigga. Yeah. Yeah, I know what it is, nigga. You don't know what you know by now. Like I said, nigga, I don't ain't in here to make no motherfucking friends. Gonna be buddy rappers with niggas. Man, this bitch should have money, nigga. That motherfucking money, that's the only thing that moves. I don't give a fuck about nothing but that bag, nigga. And racks, nigga. And stacks, nigga. Any means necessary, nigga. By any means, nigga. That man about to drop me half a thing all right now, nigga. Nigga, I can't wait, nigga. Let's get it. He just wanna stack in the lead, nigga. Dead in the dish. Okay, I let you know. Them kids got a lot of them cutters, got legs in their end. Oh no, don't play with them folks. He whipping that pots and that nigga in love with them trays. Woo, like he fuck with the lopes. Every dollar that I'm touching, leave blood on my hands. Yupping his blood on the dope. Yeah, we ballin' these stacks that I jumped out the gym. Hey, rubber band stopped in the bands. I got stacks in my hands, it's in K on the strips. Hey, bitch got her face in my lap. Hey, I'm blowing it straight out the zip. Hey, they ain't no shaking these packs. Hey, and never a day able to say. Yeah. Dropping the brick in the shit. Hey, they got a lick on my wrist. Hey, we take this scale.
You mean to tell me that they people owe 50 million and y'all still gave them refunds? But you trying to audit and tear down the mom and pop businesses? Oh hell no, we gotta talk about this.
No pressure, nah, I ain't feeling no pressure. No, I ain't stunting her, man. She wanna get on top of shit, I'ma let her. With this street code, I abide by to the letter. It's just me against me, I ain't feeling no pressure. There's no hoes barred with the shit, nigga, everything gon' go. Hoes come to see me, I miss a heart and hustle up with the flow. I used to stand in the crowd, but now I'm the star of the show. My 10 in the field of play, I know you niggas looking down at my toes. I'm only smoking, no pressure. I'm digging graves with the shovel. Just like Pac in my nigga bags, you should know Liddy be a rebel. They watch the corner for a stat. Watch out. My little nigga been the lookout. You broke that shit embarrassing. Like the drunk uncle watch the cookout. My 10 down, you got a foot out. I fuck my bitch, never pull out. A bitch drowning my drip flicker, she gon' feel the stain from my wrist. You disrespect on that click. I put the tech on your lips. No handouts, they gon' go get it litty, cut a check for a quick. No pressure, nah, I ain't feeling no pressure. No, I ain't stunting her, man, she wanna get on top of shit, I'ma let her. With this street code, I abide by to the letter. It's just me against me, I ain't feeling no pressure. There's no hoes barred with the shit, nigga, everything gon' go. Hoes come to see me, I miss a heart and hustle up with the flow. I used to stand in the crowd, but now I'm the star of the show. My 10 in the field of play, I know you niggas looking down at my toes. I ain't feeling no pressure, I do this shit in my sleep. I treat the hoes like a dog, want the bitches on a leash. I open up my palm, them tell the niggas come and eat. I got a kiss in my hand, can't tell me I ain't no peace. Let him counting his blessings, know he put me up on this level. My praise is up to the gods, but don't make me turn into a devil. I need to find that screw, cause I know my shit be loose. Went to sleeping on floors, now I'm trapping out of the booth. No pressure, nah, I ain't feeling no pressure. No, I ain't stunting her, man, she wanna get on top of shit, I'ma let her. With this street code, I abide by to the letter. It's just me against me, I ain't feeling no pressure. There's no hoes barred with the shit, nigga, everything gon' go. Hoes come to see me, I miss a heart and hustle up with the flow. I used to stand in the crowd, but now I'm the star of the show. My 10 in the field of play, I know you niggas looking down at my toes.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Shout out to everybody in the building today. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the whole Supreme Elite team. The new culture. The culture is new, and the culture ain't going nowhere. The culture ain't going nowhere. The new culture ain't going nowhere. That's all I got to say. We are here. We are in the building, and we ain't going nowhere. So, I find it very odd First of all, sup, Tony, Pete, Self-Made, everybody that's here, everybody in the chat. So I find this very odd how we can go back and forth fighting each other. We can go back and forth talking about this and talk about that. Relationships, who ain't doing this, who ain't doing that. Even the media, the news. As much as the media was trying to get everybody against the government or whatever party, I find it odd that the mainstream media did not cover this. I find it odd that TIGTA, Church Inspector General for Tax Administration, who conducted the investigation at the request of the senator from Iowa. I love that senator. I love that senator from Iowa. I actually got the request and I got the report. I love that. He be on the IRS top. He be on the tops. And you didn't hear nothing about this in the mainstream. They probably had one little segment about it, but you didn't hear nothing about it. Now, I don't know what political party Danny Warfel is a part of, so I'm not even going to guess, but he got to go. He is ineffective. Obviously, he's not respected. He doesn't know what he's doing. They're very stingy with the credits. And this is unacceptable. And then the IRS wonders why so many people are trying to find ways to beat them. Why so many people try to find ways. And guess what? Although I'm against trying to come up with the IRS scams to try to give, I know I'm usually against it. But for this purpose today, send all that bullshit in. Flood them with it. Send it all in. Because why does anybody need to do anything right now? Why does anybody need to pay taxes? When you, under your watch, Danny Warfel, you allow IRS agents to run up a $50 million tax debt tab, and y'all only fired 20 of them. 20. And was still giving the IRS employees who had outstanding tax debts, which means you're non-compliant, you were still giving them refunds. But what happens to us when we don't pay our tax? What do they always say? Oh, we're taking your prior this year and applying it to this debt. Now that's bullshit. I don't give a damn if you owe taxes. And yeah, don't pay them motherfuckers until they collect from them too. Oh yeah. Y'all want to come after us, but you're not coming after them for not paying their taxes? When everybody's supposed to pay their fair share, then I'm not paying my motherfucking taxes. This double standards, when everybody's supposed to pay? Huh? So either y'all going to collect all those 50 millions or you're going to start running people their checks, regardless if they owe back taxes or not. Run them their checks. I don't even give a shit if they file frivolous 1099 OIDs. Run that shit to them. Run it to them anyway. Run it. As long as there's still a $50 million tab on the table, which they owe, let all this shit through. Because at the end of the point, what difference does it make? That's the point I'm saying. It don't make no difference. You got agents that owe 50 million. That's a lot. I'm talking about contractors, IRS contractors, 50 million. That's a lot. There is not one singular individual American taxpayer that owes 50 million. That's accumulation. You know how many people it would take for it to equal up to owing 50 million? That's a lot of fucking people. So y'all basically saying we're gonna go after this little people, the everyday hardworking Americans. We're gonna audit them, but when it comes down to our own employees who's supposed to be setting the example, we're not gonna collect on them. And I contacted TIGTA yesterday with a copy of I tagged the news report, said this is unacceptable to Americans. This is unacceptable. So what I need everybody to do, I will be posting an online petition. All you got to do is just sign it. I'll give you the website where it's going to be on. We are calling for the immediate removal of all of the department heads, the Department of Accounts Management, the Department of Wage and Investment, the Examinations Department, the Collections Department, all that. Every single one of them, we are calling for the immediate removal. And listen, share the link, get as many. I guarantee on my end, I'm gonna get a lot of people. All I gotta do is let them know it's against the IRS. They're gonna sign it off GP. Oh, them? Hell yeah. Anybody that you talk to, your family, your friends, share the link with them and have them sign it online. You can easily just type in your name, sign it online. I'm trying to get to at least 1 million petitions. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to forward that to all the congressmen and women, and I'm going to forward it to Trump's office. And then we're going to be requesting that the FBI and see if the United States tax attorneys, if they're going to prosecute any of these IRS agents for failure to pay taxes. Let's just see. Because this is good evidence. If the IRS ever wanted to go at you for failure to pay tax, this is good evidence. Hold on. Y'all going after me for not paying taxes, but y'all got your own employees that owe 50 million. You ain't doing nothing. Why are you coming after me? And you can establish a claim of selective prosecution. Yeah. Why are you going after me for paying taxes and you got your own employees and IRS contractors, government contractors that have not paid their taxes? Why aren't they on trial too? Why am I the only one? And why does the IRS consistently always want to audit the little self-employed business, mom and pop? You want to know why? Because they're scared of the banks. They're scared to touch the corporations. They're scared. They're scared. They're scared of them. Oh, the IRS scared to go after a bank, a big bank, big giant corporation. Oh, they're scared to go after them. We as Americans are not going to allow the IRS to continue to bully the everyday hardworking American while letting their own employees break the law with no reprisal. We're not letting it happen. I'm going to do everything in my power to hold these their feet to the fire. So let me read this report to you. And this is Washington Examiner. And before I read it, I find it very interesting that this was not mainstream media. This report came out over the summertime. So we're about 3.5, almost 4 months in. Did it make mainstream media? Did y'all hear about it every day? I mean, this is big. You notice how they ain't talk about that? And remember what I always say, y'all. Pay attention to the shit that they're not talking about. That's what's really going on. The shit that they don't talk about is what you need to be paying attention to. 50 million in unpaid taxes. 50 million. That, and listen, y'all, it's 50 million unpaid taxes from IRS's own employees and contractors. What the hell? It's like it's two sets of standards. They got one standard that they enforce against us, and it's just nothing on them. But this is not nothing new. This is surprising, not surprising. Because ever since 1933, there's always been allegations of theft, waste, abuse, misuse going down at the Internal Revenue Service. It's been allegations and claims of frauds, deceptions, dating back almost 100 years with them. It's like a culture. And then come to find out, another bombshell report that I'm going to be dropping soon is that revenue agents and collection agents have a vested interest not to honor your rights, because depending on the amount of tax debt which is allegedly owed, the ones that are working the case, the collection case, they get a percentage of whatever they're able to collect. They get a bonus. They get to pocket that. Conflict of interest. You owe 125,000 or you owe 500,000 to the IRS. The agent gets about 25% of that if they're able to secure the collection or a conviction against you or whatever. So they have a vested interest to not hear your claim, to deny you your claim, to violate your taxpayer bill of rights. They have a vested interest, because by them giving you a claim will be going against their own self-interest. So you're really never going to get anywhere until you just keep fighting. But we should not have to keep fighting for the rights that we're already allegedly supposed to be entitled to. But it all goes back to this. Title 26 is not positive law. It was never enacted by Congress, so it's really nothing more than, it's just regulations. It wasn't enacted by Congress. So it's really no actual law. And it's evident in how they're acting. They can pick and choose who they want to enforce the law against, and it's evidence with this situation. The law doesn't apply to everybody. The law is going to apply according to who you are. That's pretty much it. And the African-American communities have suffered the most business-wise of the IRS's attacks, audits, all of that. They target African-Americans and low income the most. And that report, that's been well known. When Donald Trump deregulated a lot of those regulations at the IRS in his first term, yes, the big corporations used it to their benefit, but it wasn't really aimed at for the corporation's benefits. Those deregulations would have helped the small businesses more. Because these corporate establishments, they got so many unused business tax credits that they can carry over every year for 20 years straight, that they're not really losing any money to taxes. It's for the small business owners, which is pretty much the lifeline of our economy, the small business owners. These private-owned restaurants, these private-owned, these local bars and all that stuff. It creates a lot of jobs in the communities. But the fact that I can't wrap my brain around is, how can they ever expect anyone to even want to remotely comply with them again? Like, for real. How can we ever take them serious? The scare tactics with the IRS is not going to work in 2025. It won't work because me, myself, and hopefully other channels are bringing more awareness to people's rights so you can arm yourself and defend yourself against them, and you can defend yourself in confidence, being unmoved by their tactics, because they operate off 98% bluff and fear. Once we break through those smoke screens, what they got left? So let's read this. Says Senator John Ernest from Iowa, Republican, is pushing for a regular audit of the Internal Revenue Service after a new Inspector General report found that nearly 6,000 employees owe nearly $50 million in back taxes. Sheesh. In the July 24th report, requested by Ernest and conducted by Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration, found that while 96% of employees were compliant with tax obligations, over 58,000 IRS and contractor employees owed nearly $50 million in overdue taxes, and only 20 of the agency's employees who were failing to pay were terminated. When the IRS auditors can't even pass my audit, it's clear they can't be trusted by the taxpayers, said Ernest in an exclusive statement to the Washington Examiner. Between their tax evasion and rampant misconduct, the Biden-Harris administration's army of IRS agents can't even clear the most basics of hurdles. I'm working to end the double standard and hold these bureaucrats accountable to the same rules they enforce on hardworking Americans. Facts, 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 facts. Absolutely. Nothing wrong there. Ernest is introducing the Audit and IRS Act on Monday afternoon, which will require regular tax audits of the agency's employees and prohibit the IRS from hiring or continuing to employ tax evaders, according to the bill text obtained by the Washington Examiner. The junior Iowa senator asked the agency to support the bill in a letter sent to IRS Commissioner Danny Wardell on Monday. I would also like to know what actions you are taking to ensure 100% tax compliance by IRS employees and contractors, Ernest wrote to Wardell. To hold the IRS accountable and to demonstrate the agency takes its own warnings that tax evasion is a serious crime, I would strongly urge you to routinely check the tax status of every employee and fire every employee and contractor who is delinquent on their taxes and not enrolled in a payment plan. Ernest said her legislation, Joni Ernest, okay, female. Ernest said her legislation will create a zero tolerance policy for tax evasion and misconduct while ensuring these IRS bureaucrats are no longer allowed to live by one set of rules and enforce another on honest, hardworking Americans. The senator also took issue with a figure in the report that found that over 500 former IRS employees with tax compliance issues or performance issues, including criminal misconduct, stealing our shit, stealing our money. Y'all don't believe when I say they will steal your refund and then send you a bill like you did something wrong and change your tax return to assess a tax liability on you just to steal your money. They do that there. They will steal your refund. With performance issues, including criminal misconduct, sexual misconduct, inability to perform duties, fighting and assault, and unauthorized access to tax return information. I told y'all, I've been put this out there. I told you they will take your return, hit you with a form 13496, assess a tax liability on that bitch, forge your signature on that original return, call it a math error or IRS adjustment, send you a letter saying we think we made a mistake. As a result, you now owe this. Yes. Yes. Unauthorized use of tax return. Man, they're using our, man, if y'all don't wake up and smell the motherfucking Folgers. Yes, they scan your signatures on documents. Man, what? Were hired. Now, all these people with all those issues were rehired. Of the hirees, 282 had multiple previous documented conduct and performance issues. There is absolutely nothing fair about forcing hardworking Americans to pay the salaries of tax evading tax collectors while the IRS targets lower income and middle class America with nearly 2/3 of the new audits, Ernest said in the letter. That's all they do is target us. That's all they do. They don't target the corporations. They don't target the giants, the insurance companies, the banks who never pay 100% capital gains tax on all these loans and these debt instruments. The remix, oh man, violating Section 860, disqualify entities, disqualify mortgages, disqualify real estate mortgage investment conduits, transferring mortgages to a trust that's already been closed 4 years ago. I wish they, oof, God almighty. Ernest said any repeat employee offenders should be referred to the Justice Departments and be subject to the same imprisonment and fines that are listed as punishment for tax evasion on the IRS website. I agree 100%. The Washington Examiner reached out to the IRS for comment on the letter. In a notice at the end of the audit report, IRS Human Capital Officer Tracy DeMartini said of the 72 contractors who were found to have unfiled tax returns, 59 had already been disapproved for staff-like access to IRS facilities and systems. Disapproved. Disapproved. Like they don't know how to get around that. They always got a dumbass political bureaucratic response, like a robotic response. They always got the same dumbass response when probed. It's always a dumbass answer. You ever watch Danny Werfel live on C-SPAN when he's being grilled by Congress? All of his answers are 90% bullshit. All dumbass answers. Keep sipping that fucking water. Like I know your mouth dry as a bitch from lying too much. Keep sipping that dumbass water. You ever seen him drink water? He looking goofy as hell. Watch this. The IRS also disagreed, as they always do, with one of the Treasury Inspector Generals for Tax Administration's recommendations, which suggested the Chief Human Capital Officer should ensure that all unfiled tax returns identified in the report have been resolved. You're lying. No, they haven't. The IRS disagreed and said the officer does not have tax collection authority. Oh, since we want to talk about tax collection authority, none of the Internal Revenue officers that work the field have tax collection authority. Where's their delegation authority at? A real delegation of authority, not that sovereign citizen shit. Where is the regulations for revenue officers? Where's the regulation in Title 26? Where's the real regulations for revenue officers? Where is it at in the Federal Register? Nope, it's not there. But you want to know where is it at? Under Title 27. alcohol, tobacco, firearms. Want to know why? Because their real job is only dealing with excise taxes, not private sector, regular W-2 employee taxes. Instead, the agency said all tax compliance issues are being addressed consistently with IRS policies and procedures. Right. And the first human landed on Pluto last night. Right. IRS policies and procedures. Show me the implementing regulations for these policies and procedures. Show me anywhere Internal Revenue Service where your gross income list under Section 861, 26 CFR 1.861-1 through 1.861-14T, show me where anywhere of 98% of wage earners' job is under that gross income list. Show me where's it at, IRS. Because I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in the Federal Register. I haven't seen where mainly 98% of Americans' jobs, their occupation, that they are required to file a tax return under Subtitle A in the Federal Register. But you know what I did see in the Federal Register? When you're required to file a tax return, you want to know what I did see? I seen tax returns required under tobacco sales and cigarette paper sales, pipe sales, distilled spirit sales, firearms, ammunitions, and machine gun sales. Oh, I did say the regulations where you are required to file a tax return if that's your occupation. I did see that right now. Now, I did see that. I didn't see anything about the regular person working at Giant, regular person working here, small business, bar owner, restaurant owner, construction owner. I ain't see nothing there in the Federal Register. And it's well said in law that if it imposes a punishment, a mandate, or order against all Americans, it's supposed to be published in the Federal Register. So if there's not an implementing regulation regarding our sources of income in the Federal Register, then it has no full force and effective law, and that's Supreme Court mandate. So why is it only jobs dealing with excise in the Federal Register? I don't know too many people that work in the tobacco field who manufacture tobacco. I don't know too many people that manufacture firearms. I don't know too many people that work in distilled spirits, got their own, distillery. I don't know too many people that makes firearms. I don't know too many people that make machine guns. So you trying to sell me the person that works at Burger King? Boy, these people crazy as hell. These people crazy as hell. And when they don't win, when they can't provide the evidence, they like to use fear to get you in line. Well, I've already told the IRS a long time ago, don't even try it over here. As a matter of fact, let's go to court. I'm going to find that letter I sent to him. It's in my 2021 files. I have to find it. When I dared them to take me to trial. Take me to court. When I dared them. And sent a copy of the letter to the U.S. Attorney General for tax. I dared them. I dare them now. But if we were to go to trial, IRS, I would show evidence of your blatant deceptions, lies, and deceits in your theft of people's tax returns. I will introduce the unredacted 6209 manual where it clearly tells them to manipulate dates and issue refunds and steal money and move this to the unidentified check file, unidentified remittance file, move it to the excess collection file, send a CP notice. That's pure bullshit. I will introduce evidence that shows that. Black and white. I will introduce evidence where you encourage your employees to lie to Americans on the phone. Black and white. I will introduce evidence that everybody's MCC transcripts has a staggering amounts on that transcript, staggering amounts of taxes charged to that account and interest charged to that same account. Oh no, not the little bullshit transcript you get on your, you go on IRS.gov. I ain't talking about that. As a matter of fact, I've now found out that that transcript on when you log in your account, it don't tell the full story. That's only there what they want you to see. It don't tell the full story. I don't go by that transcript no more. That transcript don't mean shit. After what I just found out, that transcript don't mean shit. That transcript don't mean shit. That's the smokescreen transcript. That's the smokescreen. It's not the that's the bullshit. That's a number. That's the only thing that transcript's for. W-2s and shit like that. Regular jobs. The complex tax issues. That ain't that transcript bullshit. Wanna know why it's bullshit? Because they manipulate the dates on that. They go back and change your dates on that. They go back and manipulate the dates on your transcripts and those tax codes. They go back and manipulate them. It says it in their own handbook. Do you think these agents are really trained in law, in the Constitution, and what is the income tax and what's not taxable income? What is reportable and what's taxable? Do you think they're really trained in law? No, they're trained in mother flipping handbook and policy. This is why they never have the answers when you come in with constitutional claims and claims based in law. That's why they don't know how to respond. They're not smart enough. They're idiots that work at ex-felons. They hire ex-felons back at the IRS. And when I said that, I said, well, shit. I said, well, shit. Shit. Hold on. If they gonna hire them, shit, you might go hire me. Shit. But it goes to show that the hypocrisy, and I'm gonna open the panel for a minute because give y'all take on this, but the hypocrisy, the double standards, literally everybody that owes taxes now, this because I know they're watching me, I'm not telling you not to pay your taxes. Okay, let's just say I'm not going to say don't, but I would say this. Hey, I'll pay my taxes when they pay their taxes. If you're not going to come after them for not paying their taxes, don't come after me for not paying mine. What's good for the geese is good for the gander, and I'm relying on their leadership. This is how they're going to lead by example. Well, I'm going to follow their lead. Because how the hell you can enforce a law against someone that you're not even abide by it? It makes the law weak. And there is a thing in federal law called selective prosecution. If you could show evidence that the people that are prosecuting you had knowledge and information that another person's similar conduct in which they prosecuted you for, and they didn't prosecute them for the same thing, it's considered selective prosecution. Now, I got 50 million reasons why I can bring that up, and that is a viable claim. Selective prosecution. You must be able to show that the prosecutor had knowledge or should have knowledge of the same similar conduct of another person, and they chose not to prosecute, and you can beat the feds off selective prosecution. Because this is exactly selective prosecution. It can, oh man, it's so much shit that could transpire from this report. And this is back in July, so I'm pretty sure they started to crack down. But I find it very interesting that this wasn't mainstream news for at least 2 weeks straight. As much as they talk about Trump, as much as they put Trump in the news every 5 seconds, why didn't they put this in the mainstream news?
Yep, and to get to the
Okay.
All
right. Yeah, just get it. Why you there? Hold on, y'all. Let me post this. There you go. So yeah, there go the link. But let's talk about it. let's talk about the hypocrisy with the IRS and their double standards. How do you feel about that? Hold on. Here's a question. And now here's the thing. They said out of all those cases, what, 5,800, that out of all those cases, 20 was terminated out of 50. And I don't give a shit about 96% compliant. I don't give a shit about that. That means nothing to me. Oh, 96% compliant. Y'all are the IRS. You're supposed to be 100% compliant across the board. You would think all these agents would be happy as shit they pay taxes. Oh, by the way, hey y'all. Okay, so I called Navy Federal, letting them know I had a deposit coming and don't send that shit back. Right? And I was giving her a backdrop of it, and the lady was like, wow, congratulations, because I owe the IRS, and I would love to get help with that. Tell me why I talked to her. Yes, the lady, she works at Navy Federal. And she the one that answered the phone that day. Yes, she about to be one of my clients. She owes the IRS. Yep. She owes the IRS. Yep. Yep. So that lady's actually about to be my client. And guess what? And no, she doesn't have my YouTube channel yet, so she don't know. But I will say this. I will be picking her brain about, some things. The bank, I will be picking her brain, by the way. And if I can elicit valuable information out of her, then I won't charge her a thing. Yeah. If I can get valuable information out of her, of course, we could trade off. 9 times out of 10, it's probably some stupid income taxes that she probably don't realize she don't owe. But let me make this clear. There are cases when you do owe taxes. Let's not get that twisted. Taxes are not illegal. The biggest thing that a lot of people don't understand is this. When you are dealing with income taxes, the 16th Amendment never created the income tax law. Too many people believe that false assertion. The 16th Amendment did not change the character of the tax. Article 4 of the Constitution, taxes, if they're direct, it must be apportioned. If they're indirect, it's supposed to be about the census amongst the state. If they're indirect, but if they're direct, it must be apportioned. That the 16th Amendment did not disturb the Constitution. Another misconception about these legal beagles. The 16th Amendment did not change the Constitution. The 16th Amendment brought investment income into the fray and removed the need for apportionment when dealing with investment income or the activities or property in which the source of the income derived. People who go to court and argue about their tax liabilities not being a U.S. person under section 7701, not being in the trade of business, which that's a good argument, but it has to be, you gotta that has to be tied into something. That just can't stand alone on its own. But 98% of people who go and fight their cases against the IRS and tax court in court, they lose in the first sentence of their defense. And yes, the IRS and other federal courts have misinterpreted the statute and misinterpret the brushaber. Because on the IRS website, it says that Brushaber Court recognized that the 16th Amendment allowed for a direct, non-apportioned taxes on United States citizens. If that was true, then the Constitution will be invalidating its own self. Because on the one hand, if it's a direct tax, it must be apportioned. But what the IRS wants you to believe, that the 16th Amendment allowed for a direct tax that is not apportioned. That means the Constitution invalidates itself, and that's not what the 16th Amendment did. Now, all the thing it did was bring investment income within the scope and remove the apportionment regarding that. Now, another thing that's crazy is that the Brushaber Court stated out of its own mouth the fact that the 16th Amendment called for a new class, a new character of tax is a false assertion. The 16th Amendment did not change, nor that it will ever change the fact that an income tax is in its character an excise tax. It will never change the fact. It will never change the fact that the 16th Amendment, it never created the income tax. It never changed the character. It never disturbed the Constitution. So when people go into court making these claims, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it becomes sad because I know they're not making these claims based on their own independent study and research. I know they did, because if they did, they wouldn't have made those claims. So the problem, it always shifts back to, you got court in about 2 weeks. You ran across this channel, the teacher's channel on YouTube. They said they can help you out. You pay your money up front. They send you a little template to file. And this is the part where people have to start being accountable for who they spend their money with. The main reason is most people don't understand the law themselves, so they don't even know how to fact check the teacher's work. And then they all seem to be shocked and disappointed when I review their documents from their teachers, which is a service, just in case y'all want to start sending me emails. When I review their documents that they got from their teacher, I respond back in like 5 minutes saying it's defective. And they're actually surprised. They could send me 10 pages. I don't have to read all 10 pages if I found the one issue that's going to kill your whole case from the beginning. There's no point of reading the extra 9 pages. It doesn't even matter at that point. So let's just see. All right. So let's just see. The very first, if you look at your, once again, if you look at your 1040 form, where it has the penalty of perjury, and I tell everybody, you have to research your history of the Internal Revenue Service, because if you don't read the Internal Revenue Act of 1939 and 1954, you're not really going to understand the Internal Revenue Act of 1986. The Internal Revenue Act of 1986 did not supersede the Internal Revenue Acts of 1939 and 1954. They're all still applicable. This is what the penalty of perjury section in the 1040 that you sign. This is what that section used to be when the income tax, when the 1040 form was first introduced. It was like 1916. This is the official wording. I hereby certify that the following is a true and faithful statement of the gains, profits, or income of blank, of the blank, probably state of, in the county of blank and state of blank, whether derived from any kind of property, rent, interest, dividends, salary, or from any profession, trade, employment, or vocation, or from any other source, whatever, from the first day of January to the 31st day of December 1862, both days inclusive and subject to an income tax under the excise laws of the United States. Don't take my word. Don't take my word for it. Let's see what the Treasury Department's legislative draftman has to say. You know, the Treasury Department, United States Treasury. Let's see what he had to say about it. The income tax is therefore not a tax on income earning as such, which 98% of people to this day, even still in these spaces trying to be woke, still believe in the back of their mind. I don't give a shit how many classes they attend. A lot of them still believe because that was their core belief. That was their belief system. You don't change your belief system in a few YouTube classes. You change your belief system when repetitive new information, you're putting it on your brain, you're implanting it on your subconscious till you start moving in that belief without being told to do so. When it starts to come natural to you, when you stop putting items on these lines on your 1040 because you know that's not where your income derived. That portion of your income is not taxable. When you don't need anyone to tell you not to do so, when you already start doing it on your own. The income tax is therefore not a tax on income earnings as such. It is an excise tax with respect to certain activities and privileges, which is measured by reference to the income which they produce. Yeah, Treasury. I mean, that part right there, bam, broke it all the way down, summed it all the way up. Game, set, match. Certain activities. But most people really do believe that taxes are paid on the income itself. That's what they believe. People believe that they're paying taxes on their income. No, they believe that. You make income, you got to pay taxes. Okay. If you make income, you have to pay taxes. That's the belief. And when Congress and the government has been saying for years, it's not the income tax, it's not just a tax on income itself. Listen, this is why belief system trumps facts all day. Want to know why? Want to know why it trumps facts? Because I can sit here and tell you the sky is blue, no matter what chemical components resulted in the sky being blue. Whether it's the reflection off the water, the sun, I don't give a shit. I could tell you the sky's blue. If you believe the sky is purple, there is nothing that I can produce to you, I'll bet, scientific facts, scientific scholars, engineers, scientists, meteorologists, storm chasers, zodiac, astrology, astronomy, numerology. There is no type of facts that anyone can put in front of your face that's going to convince you that the sky is not purple. And that's how the IRS operates off, conditioning years of our minds being conditioned to automatically assume that we owe taxes. Even in instances where we don't owe taxes, we're still going to assess taxes. And what's the number one thing they use to get you to stay up with it? It's the fear. Fear keeps society in this place. And this is why all the people that did not go with the status quo, that were independent thinkers, they're always the ones that are called weird. They're always ones that they always seem to be a threat to the establishment because they use independent thinking. I'm not going to travel this road just because everybody else is traveling the road. I'm going to ask, why is everybody traveling this road? Where does this road lead to? I'm not just doing everything because everyone else is doing it. So that makes me, everybody else doing it. Just because everybody else is filling the forms out one way doesn't mean they're filling out the forms the right way. And yes, and let's say, out of 10 people, let's say 100 people, out of 1,000 people, out of 1,000 every American right now, maybe out of that 1,000, maybe 3 actually has occupation or activities where they actually owe income taxes. Maybe 3 out of every 1,000 people, maybe 3. I guarantee you, because everybody over these past 3 years that sent me copies of their tax returns, they never owed taxes from the beginning. Like legally, black and white, didn't. None of the occupations deal with these certain activities that the government's talk about. None of them. No matter what they do. I've never ran across one yet. So if I haven't ran across one in 3 years, that means the national average, the everyday person does not engage or has activities or income that is centered around what the income taxes are assessed against. They're just not there. Look at your gross receipts list. Like, this is stuff that applies to your tax lives. Listen, y'all, how can we ever get out ahead of this thing if we're not taking interest in these things? These stuff affect your lives. Understanding what's going on with your mortgage after closing. I'm not telling you what you should take an interest in, but we can't expect anything to change if we're not taking interest in the things that affect our lives every day. Why is the answer? Well, it is what it is. And sit there. Yeah, these motherfucking crooks. Yeah, man, these crooks. It is what it is. What are we? When I talk to people, I used to hate when that was their answer. Oh, yeah, this crooks always stealing, man. It is what it is. All right, what's next? What you gonna start? What you gonna start doing about it? And nobody wants to take action. Nobody wants to take action. Now, I'm not advocating to start a revolution. Nah. But it's like, how can we even start to put the pieces together if we're not even looking back and saying how we got here? Like I tell people, when they join my Telegram group, don't start with the classes from a week ago. Start all the way up at least a year and a half ago and work your way down. Don't start here. I mean, the video is recorded. They're going to be here. You ain't missing nothing. Every class is recorded. Every video is dropped to the group after every class. So you can always go back and listen to it. You ain't missing nothing. But if we continue to volunteer to pay taxes in which we're not legally liable to pay, we can't expect any outcomes to come in our favor. And I'm not talking about instances, government, because I know y'all listening and watching. So I'm going to say for you, United States government, I'm not telling people not to pay taxes. If you owe taxes, you have to pay. What I'm telling people, government, is if you're not legally liable to pay taxes, stop assessing the taxes on the income which is not taxable. That's what I'm saying, United States government, because I know you're listening. That's what I'm saying. Oh, but while you're listening, United States government, I do got a question for you. Maybe you could take this back to your superiors. I got a question. Why is it that the banks don't ever have a basis in the proceeds of the loans issued? So that means it's 100% capital gains on the profits. Why aren't y'all going after them for their tax avoidance scheme? 100% gains. They have no basis in it because the money never came from them. And they still have a service agreement where they collect the monthly payments in exchange, where they collect the monthly payments in exchange for a little, 4 to 6% servicing fee on a mortgage. Government, why are you allowing the IRS? IRS, got a question for you too. Why are you allowing the banks to bypass the regulation that they have any house that they have that they're going to foreclose on, that they have to file the form under Section 856 with the IRS to treat the property as foreclosed assets? Why are you allowing them to get away with not filing that, which is a violation of your REMIC laws? Because I have not seen one singular foreclosure case where the lawyer has not brought up the fact that that house is really being foreclosed on, because they have elected to treat the house as foreclosed assets according to the Internal Revenue Service. Where is that election file? So how are you foreclosing on this house you have IRS, why are you allowing the banks to continue to have a interest in the regular or interest payments of the mortgage-backed securities, which they get a servicing fee on assets that are supposed to be a true sale? If it is a true sale, then the seller relinquishes all interest in the property, meaning they are violating the true sale mandates, because in order for property or a mortgage to qualify to be placed in the remit for the tax breaks, then there must be two true sales. Judge, why are you allowing the banks to show up in court with a regular promissory note that the borrower filed at closing, when their own 8K, 10K filing tells them that they're supposed to convey the note to the issuing entity, meaning there's supposed to be a chain of title? It's supposed to be assigned to the special purpose vehicle, then the special purpose vehicle assigns it over to the issuing entity. So why are they showing up with that note? Where's that note? Where's social two assignments? Where's that note? Why they keep showing up with that note? Where's that note? So, Your Honor, by them showing up with this note, they're in violation of their own pooling and service agreement. That means the trustee cannot have clear legal title to the property, so he lacks standing to foreclose today, Your Honor. Ah, man, I wish I had a witness up in here today. I wish I had a witness. Ah, man, I wish I had a witness up in here today. Swear to God, I wish I had a witness. Swear to God, I wish I had a witness today. Woo! Man, if I ever needed a witness, I need him right now. Now y'all see why a lot of these people outside from the clouds watching, why they never win in court with foreclosures. Wonder why they never win? Consumer violation claims. Fuck all that shit. Y'all ain't get down to the meat and potatoes. Wanna know why? Because they don't understand accounting and securitization. That's why. You don't understand accounting, securitization? Oh, by the way, Your Honor, according to FOIA, I received a copy of the RCL balance sheets. Now, oh no, this is relevant because it shows that there's a substantial amount of money that's been moved off the books of the seller, the bank, over into the account of the issuing entity. Now, I pulled up all of the loans issued by this branch in this area and did a mathematical calculation. And every other amount is accounted for. But it looks like it's $175,000 that's left. That's been moved off balance sheet bookkeeping. But when I add up the purchase price of this home and then subtract it by all the payments that this borrower would make, why does it equal up to $175,000? How? How does it equal up to that? But that's the same amount the bank's saying that they got to pay back. Your Honor, I would like you to take mandatory judicial notice that that $175,000 is the foregone interest of the borrower, in which the IRS says that at the day of closing, it is deemed that the lender has cut a check cash in the difference of the issue price over the price paid at maturity, and then the borrower foregone that interest, gave it back to the lender and said, hey, lender, lend that back to me as interest as well. Foregone interest, below market rate loans. So to be honest with you, Your Honor, this person actually has a claim to those proceeds. Actually, it's really theirs, according to this information. So the bank can continue to keep that, but we would have to. Can you give us 2 weeks to work out a resolution with the banks? Can we get a continuance in this moment? Because I don't want to. I want to see if we can work this outside of court. Because I kind of feel at this moment that we'll be able to come to a amicable agreement. All right, so this is what it is. So either way, this is how the cake's going to go. Either way, right? You can still request this amount. Cool, right? I don't think my client's going to pay, but either way, we're going to file the taxes on this 175, and the IRS is going to refund that to them, and then they're going to bill you for the taxes. So how about we do this? Let's just apply that credit to the receivables on the books, so it doesn't show any paper trail that you gave her the 175, but at least can show up on the books, so you can extinguish that debt, and then you can use that equity to still pay off the note holders, and she just gets the title to her home. Cool. Bet. Negotiation. And you notice that even in that scenario, even when we would have all wins and can make all the demands, notice how we still playing ball with them, because too many people just come in, want to take everything off the plate and just, I want it all, me. And those are the ones that get the most resistance. You notice when you come into this system asking for everything, you usually leave with nothing. We said, hey, realistically, don't matter how you slice the cake. I mean, just still going to file the taxes on this claims on this proceeds. We got all the evidence to establish a valuable claim, but we'll forego that if you can just use that 175, apply it to the receivables, move it from the principal collection account, from the custodian account, because I know Wells Fargo is holding the account for y'all. So you can move it from the principal collection account, from the custodian account for the receivables. It's still going to balance itself out, because once it routes to the receivables, it's still going back to the principal collection account, to the collateral account on the for the benefit of the note holders. And y'all know those are self-liquidating papers. So it's not like you are okay, but here's the thing though. All right, but you got insurance, you got credit default swaps on this, you got insurance fund. So let's just say that the borrower defaulted, the note holders are still getting paid. What I'm trying to tell you is that's what part of her proceeds make up of. That consists of that. The proceeds that people like my client are not claiming, that's the excess that goes into your reserve fund. So either way, she's still entitled to that anyway. It don't matter which account it's in, because I know what it derived from. So so it doesn't matter. And y'all got insurance on it, so it's going to get paid regardless. They're not going to lose anything here. So let's not try that. What's next? What are the other concerns? Okay, all right, okay, but check this out. The mere fact that when she actually signed the debt instrument first, it was supposed to be issued at the stated price of maturity. So this amount right here that she has to pay over 30 years, this was the value of what it was supposed to be issued at the beginning. So that extra finance charge in the middle, y'all owe her that anyway. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. You owe her that anyway. So I really shouldn't have to be negotiating with something you owe her from the beginning. Because when I filed my tax return, this is how it's going to look. Matter of fact, I got a copy right here. This is how it's going to look against y'all. Read this letter too. Don't worry about the 1099s and all that stuff, the 1040. Read the letter. Exactly. So how you going to be able to fight that with them? We don't care. I know the IRS is coming at the out for the taxes. I don't care. And then I know you didn't have a clear chain of title. I know it's a secure borrow. You just masquerade it off as a true sale. So you're kind of defrauding your investors and filing fraudulent securities. But I'm not going to get into all that. And it's 100% capital gains. And you're still having an interest in these mortgages after a supposed true sale. So you're kind of telling yourself that it's really a secure borrowing, not a true sale. So either way, I got about 7 different ways that I will address this issue with y'all if we don't reach a resolution today. So it don't matter to me. Let's go back to court and let them fall where they land. Like I said, I'm not going to fight back and forth. Okay, you don't want to do it this way. Okay, how about this? But if I keep offering, reasonable, they don't want to take it. Okay, we just going to go all the way. All right, we just going to do what we do then. It's all business. The same approach I took with Navy Federal. The same approach. The same approach. Nothing personal. And it's not personal. It's just business. Guess what? After the end, I'll shake their hand. Hey, man, you did good in there today. Shake your hand. Yeah. Nothing personal. Problem is, too many people take this shit personal when they lose. Because it's all a game. You're going to lose sometimes. You may come across a situation, it don't matter what the fuck you do. They just, nope. Trust me. You'll know when you're ready in this game when you start to hear a lot of no's first. If you ain't never heard a no or don't know how to accept a loss, this is the wrong space for you. If you're used to getting everything you want, and when you don't get your want, you throw a temper tantrum and cry like a little baby, this is the wrong space for you because you're going to hear about 5,000 no's before you ever hear yes. That's just the nature of the beast. That's by default. Or you're going to hear about 5,000 no's. They're going to assault your intelligence. They're going to act like they don't know what you're talking about. They're going to remain silent on issues that they don't want to engage in with you because it may be beneficial for you. They're going to stay silent on those issues. You may send shit out. They don't respond back, but still try to send you a bill that's done on purpose. You're going to try to send something to the indenture trustee, but never really read their 8K, 10K filings or the indenture agreement, where it clearly states that only a loyalty and allegiance are to the investors, and no money is supposed to be transferred out of that account for nobody's benefit except for the investors. So you're already at a disadvantage there. I don't give a fuck if you're sending 50,000 registered mail letters to the indenture trustee. It don't mean shit. They ain't giving you shit. Y'all know that. Oh, y'all was with Tamika Slade. Y'all know that. She had y'all indenture trustee. What happened with it? Nothing. No response. Nothing. No response. Then what she tell you how to do? File a claim with the SEC, then get the embosser, emboss the back of the bill. Oh, man, she was just playing, y'all. It's not funny, bro. She was just experimenting. Because trust me, she needed the money. She was broke. She needed the money. So she got to have these classes. She needed the money. She was broke. Y'all really believe she had the $1 million, $23 million property? She was successful. Y'all really believe that? Come on, man. Come on, man. I know y'all smarter than that. Ain't got nothing to show. So they go to link. They go to link for the chat. We are going to come back. I'm open up the panel. Y'all give me 30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds, y'all. But we're going to come back open. You want to get on the panel? If not, we'll just keep it where we at.
Yeah. It's Liddy. Okay, I'm almost wasted, and my drip is on the spaceship. One more sip, yes, I can taste it. Come to my exact location. I'm so tired of my probation, doing time for revocations. I just toasted this occasion to give myself standing ovations. What I'm drinking, that brown, that white, with the bar sirs, that ass is attracted like a magnet. And I never dodge her. I drink my problems away, and that alcohol is my sponsor. And I will indulge you to the point of death. That's only give my heart hurt. rehearse, cause relationships never last. And being faithful is a thing of the past. Everybody's only after one thing. Both sexes can relate to that. Can replace the fat when I hit it from the back. Get your face in my pillow in the palm of your ass. Yeah, I graduated from the bottom of my class. Now I'm sitting at the top, you see the bottom of my glass. We can keep talking, I know that's where we're headed. It's my train of thought, it's so terrible to be embedded. Did I mean it? Only if I said it. Remember her face, I normally forget it. Get it, hit it, quit it. Send it on the way, package, shipment. It's hard to react if your heart ain't attached. Jacket like it ain't love, you be calling her back. Wake up in the morning next to an empty bottle. Wonder what she said that made you really want to follow. Words come out, I know I'm drunk. Somebody send me another one.
All right, we are back. We are back. So, one thing I will say is that Bernie Madoff is right. That man couldn't have been even more writer. Writer's not a real word, but you get my sentiment. He couldn't have been any more right. When he told me about 5 years back, and rest in peace, Bernie Madoff. He wasn't no rat. He wasn't no snitch. He didn't take down none of his people. But to be honest with you, JP Morgan was in on it the whole time. JP Morgan was in on it the whole time. Yep. They actually did the money laundering. Turned a blind eye. Refused to give up information and documents when the SEC came knocking. Refused. I mean, you're transferring $6 billion from one of your clients. I mean, oh, I know the whole story according to him. Why he had to take the fall. I'm gonna be honest with you. I see you self-made. Madoff took the fall because he was the fall guy. It went deeper than Bernie Madoff. It went deeper than Bernie Madoff. A lot of y'all local heroes, a lot of people's out here camping, a lot of these people who we praise would have been right up Schitt's Creek with them if they didn't silence him. Yeah, a lot of people, politicians, so praise us morality. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, uh-huh. I was with that man for 2 weeks. I know names of people. I would never say publicly, but I know names of people who are prominent people in other countries. Know the whole name. I didn't even know who these people existed.
Bro,
Other big names.
Bro, 2 weeks with that man, I know it's like, that was probably like 2 years, bro.
Man, what? I'm so glad there was a delay at Oklahoma. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, bro. That man is definitely infamously known on Wall Street, my boy.
Right, that's right. Man, he's told me. I said, what do I need? He said, study securitization. When you learn securitization, you learn the banks. When you learn the banks, that's when you win. He was like, man, banks don't give you no fucking money for no loan. So he started telling me all that, but at the time, I'm green, so I know the terms he was using, but I didn't know what it meant.
Facts.
When I go back, I'm like, yeah. So he had access to the same credit facilities and warehouse facility. That's when I first heard about These credit facilities are warehouse facilities. These facilities are the ones that's actually being established on Wall Street with investors' money. And then these same credit facilities and investors that are establishing these credit facilities, pulling all their money together, they're creating the hedge funds. Then they get connections with the state municipalities. So they get the state and municipal, a retirement fund, pension. They get them to invest in the hedge funds. You see what I'm saying? It's just one big rabbit hole, man. You wouldn't believe the shit that man told me about Wall Street, what really goes on in this financial world.
So would you say the credit facilities is just a throw-off word for the hedge funds?
One throw-off word for the hedge funds, and another throw-off word, and another throw-off term, just another throw-off term, because banks are not allowed to engage in investment activities. It's just another way to get around it. But these credit facilities, Wells Fargo has them all over the world, JP Morgan, all of them. And it's all started on Wall Street. That's why any mortgage transaction is known as the deal. Any mortgage securitization, they call it the deal on Wall Street. Yeah.
Man,
they call it the deal. So what they do is, so they take your approved application, issue a short-term security, because remember, you got to close in 90 days. So they issue a short-term security, and that from that security is the money that you get to close. All your money that's needed for mortgage is being raised from your security. Without your security, they wouldn't be able to have shit. The investors ain't putting no money up. Banks don't do it. Banks don't guarantee shit.
So like you said, they just kind of that middleman, that broker, just trying to facilitate a deal. Basically, that's it.
That's it. And here's the thing about it. Remember when I said, I don't think people now remember when I said the only way the banks is going to accept your own securities that you issue are the ones that they put in front of your face to sign.
I remember that, yeah.
Right. So you can't go into the bank with your own bill of exchange or promissory note. But if they issue one, they'll accept it because banks are legally allowed to money launder. Convert securities into cash. They're legally allowed to do so. That's why it only works, as you can see in the context of a mortgage and auto, it only works when your signature on an instrument is converted into cash. The proceeds generate from that. It only works in that setting. You can't come in just because you're in a workshop class for 11, 11, 11, 11 or 2, 2, 2, 2, and then you're going to pay your bill with a bill of exchange.
Man, I'm telling you.
It's not being routed through the banking system.
And Lamont, I feel like it's so unfortunate, man, because like people really don't understand finance the way that they think they do. Because just off the strength that you're thinking you can entertain something like that, just shows how far away you really are. Oh my God!
Yeah.
It's. I see why you get so frustrated with people, man. But at the same time, I don't even call it frustration. It's just like, yo, dude, how you ain't know that? Like you can read this every time you talk. You like, yo, everything I say is Googleable. Like you can you're not hot and they're not hot and nothing. It's just up to you to take the time and interpret this stuff, look at the definitions, and really just streamline it however way is best for you. But man, I don't know. People just, I don't know. They just really think everything is free. They just think everything's free.
Yeah, and another I know. It does get frustrating because it's like it's frustrated and sad to the point where we move from I believe this is true to I need this to be true. You see what I'm saying? Like when we hanging on it because we need it to be true, because we're dependent on it to be true.
And
it's like unfortunate that people are in these financial situations where they have to turn to people promising stuff like that that a worthless piece of paper that you type up
Because
is going to bring you
at this point,
salvation.
man, at this point, I feel like people are literally, like you said, they get into a situation, specifically whatever, some type of financial, whatever, and they literally, that's what they're putting into YouTube, and the first person that pop up that even sounds similar to what they need to be the reality. Oh man, this is what I needed. This is. Oh man,
Yes.
YouTube is the. Oh man,
Yes.
$500 and you can set my mortgage off, or
Yeah.
$1,000, and I never have to pay taxes again. I can send in the bill
Yeah.
of BOE, and it's like, bro, no, no, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. You need
If
to
it was
stop
that
this.
easy, yeah. Come on, think about it. There's
Man,
nothing new under the sun.
I'm telling you.
You gotta think about it. Bernie Madoff and people in his space, they've been in Wall Street since the late 70s, 80s.
Mm,
So all
mm.
this stuff has been around way before we came into existence. Do you not think that would have already been done and tried? And to stop the spread of it, don't you think they would have counteracted it a long time ago?
Long time ago.
That's exactly what they did. They stopped the bills of exchange from being processed with Alert 9910 that came out in 1999. They said, we don't care how much facts they got on it, how much it resembles a legal financial instrument. Because I talked to this bank one time. I was with Wells Fargo, and I never forget her name, Miss Vasquez. I sent her a bill of exchange from prison, and I gave her all the code statutes to push it. I called back from prison. Oh, they knew I was in prison. I talked to her on a three-way. My counselor let me call her. She said, hey, I'm gonna try to push this through for you. Okay. So so I gave her a little more information about it. She took some notes down. I'll call back in a week, because that was the time we had scheduled to call. I called back in a week. She said, Mr. Thomas, I tried to push it through. They just said no. Like, I did a little research. It seems like you understand, about your finances, and the information is legit. And I brought that to them, that the information was a little correct. And she was like, trust me, I wanted you to have that in your account. That's more money we make, So it wasn't like I was trying to sabotage. I understand, Ms. Vasquez, but basically what they're saying is just that they're under orders not to accept them. Like, they just can't. And I'm just a little fish in this big pond.
Facts.
Like you said.
Facts.
Yeah. And
But
that's
that's
what they
like you
wanted.
saying. That's when they basically shut down that whole BOE thing. They shut it all down.
Right. And this was a 2017, 2018. And the
Oh,
legal
come on.
department.
Oh man.
Right. And the legal department told her to tell me that it was nothing wrong with the information on the bill of exchange. That was not the issue. They understood everything I was saying. But they sent me a letter a few, like 3 weeks ago. No, like 2 months ago, a random letter from Wells Fargo in response to, because now that I'm thinking about it, that's what it was a response to. They just now responded back 4 or 5 years later to that, saying that we are not allowed to accept bills of exchange for deposits. We're not allowed to accept it. So what they was doing, and that's the thing I was trying to tell King V and them, you are quoting a statute from the Title 12 USC, which I'm very familiar with those statutes. But what they don't understand is, and I've spoken to the Federal Reserve Bank about these issues, the banks have the authority to make their own rules and regulations. They have the authority to accept what they want to accept and deny what they want to deny. So by we going over those statutes under Title 12 USC, it always must be in context, because you could quote a statute all you want. If the bank is not going to accept it, the bank is not going to accept it because they have the right not to accept it. They have that authority. And the Federal Reserve agent told me, she said, I understand everything you're saying, But once again, we don't do banking with individuals. If you can get the bank to process that for you, then that's a different conversation. But it
Okay.
has to be routed through the bank. If
And
they
that's
do
why you say
not,
you ain't even deal with the banks like that, because they just pretty much had that choice
it's too much
whether
of
they
the
want to
power.
opt.
Right,
Right,
right.
right.
That's why I
Okay.
stop. It's too much of the power. It's too much. I mean, the variables, like it's not a good odds. It's not a good odds that you're gonna be successful dealing directly with a bank outside of a consumer finance transaction.
That's a fact. And we play to win, so that's just wasting time. That's just beating the
You're gonna be
dead
wasting your
horse.
time. Yeah, you're gonna be
Okay.
wasting your time. You're gonna be wasting your time trying to walk in through the door with a bank and get something like that done. You're gonna be wasting your time. Wasting your time. And another thing, another problem is even if they accept that bill of exchange, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the banks send that up to the Federal Reserve is going to be looking for the bank for something to collateralize it. It has to be
Aye,
collateralized.
aye, aye.
No,
So the
there's
whole
not
thing
such.
is securitization. The
Right,
whole thing.
right. Look at every one of their operating circulars. Banks never can just send in a piece of paper instrument up to it without it being collateralized. What is it collateral? What does it have to be collateralized by? And the Federal Reserve has a list of acceptable collateral, and all of them are either Treasury securities, mortgage-backed securities, 1 to 4 residential homes, auto finance, credit. It has securitization. That's the
And I was
collateral
just
right there.
about to say they want to collateralize because like you I was just about to say they about to issue the treasury, the T-bills and all of that. They're
Yes,
not man,
yes,
man, the rabbit hole is deep.
yeah. It's deep. So the fact that you got to understand, you're not going to convert our self-created pieces of paper into a deposit without adequate collateral to back it. That,
Yo, Lamont, yo,
regardless if it's right or not,
right,
regardless if it's right or not,
right.
that's what it is.
For real, cause oh my god, man, dudes a bit, man, it's backed up by the real estate of the land and the gold. Oh, man. Like Lamont, yo, people's imagination. I really think it's a combination of drugs. You read a little bit of law, but you can't put it all together, so you're just letting your imagination fill in those blanks. And I mean, people go crazy with this stuff, man. It's time consuming, but it ain't hard. That's my outlook on it. It's time consuming, but this stuff is if you have that will to look up definitions, man, that's my biggest thing because I'm quick to replace a word with what they trying to portray it as with something that's as simple as okay, they talking about a bank. Oh, okay, they talking about the beneficiary in this sense, or they talking about like once you're able to replace words with what you would normally just gloss over, just trying to read through something, because like you say, you looking for something to pop out at you instead of just reading it and understanding this now it just comes into are you really in a rush? Do you need your house or whatever your situation is? Do you need it in 30 days or do you got the time?
Oh,
And
this is a long game.
man, and
This is
that's
a
what
long
people I
game.
think that's what's running people. That's what either run people away. That's what because
It's a
Lamont.
long game. If you're not in this for the long game,
Mm-hmm.
you're in this. You may start this today. Let's say this is your first day in this space.
Talk to
Your
me.
remedy may not come to like 2 or 3 years later
That's
because
a
the
fact.
amount of time it takes to get the data, get all your research, and then the understanding and the proper interpretations of it. That's where a lot of people fail at their interpretation of it.
That's a
Prime
fact.
example, everybody thought that just because they took the gold and silver, that people had no way to pay their bills. When they took the gold and silver for the people under the executive order April 1st, 1933. But the part that they skipped over in that executive order is that the government gave people the equivalent form to pay their bills. It's
I
not that they
remember you
just took the
mentioning that.
gold
Right,
and left them
right.
with nothing. They gave them legal tender in return.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that whole argument kills when we can't pay our
But
bills
matter of
because,
fact, like you said, bro, we wasn't even born back then, bro.
right,
Bro, like nobody walking right now, even if your grandmother or great grandmother was around that, you're not them, and they ain't got no will or nothing passing the so-called gold that they did take down to you. Like none of these people's
right,
arguments if you really strip it down to I need to believe this to the facts eat them up every time. It's
Right.
like it's no getting around it. It's no getting around it.
So it goes back to the need to believe it. I need to believe this. I
Man,
need this
that
to
shit
be true.
vicious, bro.
And the need to believe it and the need to be right. Because nowadays, I used to think that a lot of people are worried about getting results when I first came on the scene. But now, after these past 2.5 years, I came to the conclusion that most people just want to be right in their argument. They will give you a laundry list of steps what you need to do to be successful outside of what you're saying. Like they'll combat that when you got to do this and do this and do this. But as soon as you ask them, can you show me your personal results from that 25-step process you said, they never respond. They never respond. They never respond. They never can do it. Like, look at my community tab because people was asking about the mortgage. And I jumped in my community tab, the bill, my response, their response, my response.
Yeah, you just did that. Yeah.
Right, just did that. So, and that was all based off securitization. So I'm qualified to speak about the mortgages. Hey, I can talk about mortgages.
No birth certificates. No birth certificates.
No birth certificates. No birth certificates. Hell no. I can speak about mortgage. I can offer mortgage settlement as a service because I've been there, done that. Is it always easy? No. Am I going to have to twist about 20 elbows? Yes. But it doesn't take away the fact that if your claim is not centered around a securitization, you have no claim. You can claim anything else that you want. You can add it as an amendment or appendix or exhibit. But if the foundation of your claim is not centered around your investment contract in a securitization, you have no claim.
Like, bro, the gems, like, bro, the way you open my eyes, like, bro, from June when I stumbled across you till today, bro, I'm telling y'all, man, y'all better listen to this man. Credit default swaps, collateralized debt obligations, securitization as a whole. Y'all better pay attention to what this man is saying because that's it. That's it, man. Securitization, accounting, trust law, the taxes, most importantly. And speaking of the taxes, Lamont, that's why I really came on here. This IRS thing is like out because you kind of was going over this stuff over the summer, talking about how, unless your source of income came from a government grant or privilege, then you pretty much had an argument, so to speak. Now, how are these people actually working for the federal government, which is the grant or the privilege, and they not paying it? Like, yo, that's insane. That's insane. You just went over this the whole summer.
They're not being accountable for it.
That is wild. That is wild to me, bro. Like, so like you saying, they don't even have a leg to stand on at this point.
Now they don't because it's like this. They don't have it because it goes to this. So you're sending me, listen, hypothetically, you're sending me a bill for $25,000, but you got 50 million in the streets from your own people.
Your own people, right?
So what if America say, you know what? I ain't paying my taxes. Why am I going to pay my taxes now? You ain't forcing them to pay theirs.
Lamont, knowing all of this stuff that you've taught me so far, ain't nothing gonna have the government gonna turn on the money printers. That's what they're gonna do. They're just gonna keep printing money.
Yep.
That's what's gonna happen.
I'll put it like this. If they're gonna let these employees get away with that,
that's crazy.
Then they should let any process go through. They should let people get away with not paying. They might as well. What's the difference?
You know what I think it is though? Them saying no, that's what make it look real. That's the illusion right there. When they do deny you, even though they know it ain't knowing nothing, and they should just pretty much let everything flow through. Because like you said, it ain't positive law. They just making stuff up as they go. If that's the case, when they say no and when they do deny you, that's what make people in their mind, well, it's got to be real. They said no. Right there, that's the mind fuck. Like that, because like you said, it can't be no more than manipulation at this point. Because yo, that's crazy. Like, I don't know how you stumbled across that article, how you found it. Fire. Like,
and this is from July. It was from July. And you ain't never hear nothing about it in mainstream media.
Nothing.
You want to know why? You want to know why they didn't put it in mainstream media? Because Americans would have all been thinking the same thing. Why the fuck I gotta pay my taxes? They ain't paying theirs. It would have got, you know what it would have did? It would have got millions of Americans to buck paying taxes.
Mm-hmm. And it would have threw off the whole equilibrium.
And they wouldn't be able to do nothing about it.
Economics. It would have just threw everything off of their system. Because, like, yo, I tapped in and watched some of that MIT stuff you posted.
Yeah.
So all of this stuff is calculated. Yo, they actually make math equations out of this stuff, man.
Yes.
Like, so you can't throw their formula off too much. But you're gonna jack the whole system. They literally depend on calculations or equations of what we call, i.e., algorithms. They depend on these algorithms to equate everything, and that makes so much sense. Because I was watching this movie called the margin call, I think.
Oh yeah.
And that was the whole point of the movie. They whole business model was dependent on an algorithm on how they traded the securities. And as soon as the young boy put the real math together, said, yo, this math is all the way off. We need to have a fire sale tomorrow. Put it right in the movie.
Yep. You know how many millions of dollars that all aspects of the corporate sports pay on AI, algorithm, chance, likelihood, the NBA, the analytics. What the analytics are shooting from this. So they start running plays based on analytics. That's what it's all about. The SEC, analytics, all that shit. So they got it down to the T, right?
Telling you.
They got it down to so much how much they expect to take in from each American. And they put $1 on that. You know what they do? They'll go issue a security for that. All right, we expect to get about $45,000 in taxes out this person this year, whether it's sales tax, state tax, federal income tax. All right, so we can issue under the accrual fractional reserve. We can issue 45,000 times 10 or times 9. Want to know why? Because this person is going to do the same thing every year. For the next 30 years. They're going to do the same thing. They're robotic. They're not going to step outside the box. They're going to do this every year. And that's what they depend on. For us to be no independent thought. No, that's going to be like, hold on. Why? Why is this like this?
Right.
Like it's just that's what it is.
Never. Yeah, that's never gonna happen. Right. Or at least not on no mass scale. Like never.
Right. So let me ask this question. He says, so would you take a client who brought 10 properties under subject to, so subject to a mortgage, where the mortgage is in the seller's name, but the ownership of the property was transferred to the investor/borrower. So you're buying the property subject to. Yes, but the claim who originally got the mortgage on the 10 properties, that would have to be the person who's heading the claim. It can't be over a person who bought it from him, because the original document sold for the properties, whoever signed that debt instrument, they have to be the face of that claim. So I can, but it can't be on behalf of the new buyer. It has to be on behalf of the original owner, the seller, to answer that question. So he said they got everyone worried about reproductive rights, but birth rates is down. Shit is bananas. But here's the thing about that. I'm be honest with you. There was thousands of abortions. I mean, deletions. Baby deletion. I don't like to use that term. Baby deletions last year. Pretty much, if you wanted to terminate, you pretty much could. And then the instances that they give to protect their rights, the first one, grape, that's 1%. Incest, 0.032%. Serious health to the mom, 0.5%. Women are not passing during childbirth. It's not the 1800s. It doesn't happen like that. So they give the most rarest cases to protect their rights. And in reality, a majority of them will never experience those traumatic events in their lifetime. But you know what did hit a lot of the terminations? From consensual sex. Consensual sex. College. Don't want to get pregnant. I'm in college. Teenage pregnancy. I don't want that heat on this family. That's what they're really trying to protect. The right to terminate whenever they want, no matter the situation.
Yeah, I
My
believe
thing
that.
is, if that's the case, then won't you lead with that instead of leading with the most extreme cases that majority of them never experienced in their lifetime? Well, that's all it is. It's the double talk. Lead with that. If that's what you want, if that's what you want to enforce your right, and you can enforce your rights all you want. I'm a man. I really don't care. But if you know a lot of the terminations are from consensual sex, getting pregnant in college, getting pregnant by a deadbeat, teenage pregnancy. If you really want the right to
Mm-hmm.
terminate when you want, how you want, then just lead with that. Don't lead with all these extreme cases that you probably never going to experience in your lifetime. This ain't the color purple, mister. Every man ain't no mister. Come on, man. It's like the early 1900s. Technology is good. Medicine has progressed. Less women are are passing during childbirth. A lot of kids are born healthy, beautiful babies. That's not really the issue. No, that's not the issue. The issue is I want the right to terminate when I want to terminate, regardless of the situation. Which it that's
Mm-hmm.
your right. Cool. But just own why you really want your reproductive rights so much. Just own that shit. Don't use the most rare cases when that shit ain't happening like
Mm-hmm.
once in a clear sky blue moon. So
Wow.
that's my take on that.
Yeah, that's a fact. In the
But
rare
even that,
instances when it is, an outrageous situation, it's well known, it's all understood, and nobody's fighting that.
right? That's what I'm saying. Nobody's fighting that. And
Yeah,
in those
right.
any of those three instances, no one is going to fight that. No one is going to be like, hell no. Now you may have some religious people, God, everyone's
Yeah,
God's,
yeah,
whatever. But
yeah.
I'm not going to say no. A woman can't do that in those instances. Hell no.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing. This shouldn't even be a topic because everybody already knows in those cases it's print. And yes, it's. I mean, this shouldn't even be nothing to even talk about. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It shouldn't even be a topic of discussion when we bring up those rare instances. Like it shouldn't even be. We all know nobody wants to keep
Mm-hmm.
a child in that situation, and we all know that.
Mm-hmm.
But the real question is, why didn't any of these politicians talk about the IRS agents on 50 mil on the campaign trails?
Yeah, come on.
I'm talking about Trump and Kamala. Why didn't they talk about this in the campaign trail?
Mm.
Wanna know why? Because
It wasn't gonna. Yeah.
a lot of these same politicians got these government contracted companies that work with them. You think all these government contracted companies ain't funded by a group that these congressmen ain't associated with? Come on, man.
Ooh, the
And
rabbit
I
hole
got
is deep, man.
a copy of Kamala's 2019 tax records. Do you realize that Kamala, do you realize that she took advantage of the same tax credits that she accused Donald Trump and the other billionaires for utilizing and not paying their fair share? Hillary Clinton did too. They all take advantage of the same tax credits, tax breaks that Donald Trump takes advantage of. They all took Kamala Harris reported out of, because she has a business with her husband.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna ask like what they got, like some type of businesses or
Yeah, they
something,
got
like
business and stuff.
non-profits.
Yeah,
Okay.
they got businesses. They got their own entities and businesses. But it's funny how her taxes were so low. But once again, everybody's filing that 4562, that depreciation, personal business, use of your personal property in service of your business. I
Yeah,
filed
I
it. That's
think
why I
yeah,
don't pay
that's what happened.
taxes.
Okay.
That's why I don't pay taxes. I don't need no status correction not to pay taxes. I don't need that. I don't need no fucking long ass letter to the IRS not to pay taxes. I just take the depreciations. They give you I take my gas mileages. I told them I use 150,000 miles of my vehicle in use of my business. And they said, did you use these miles? Was there a contract for you to use your property in service of your business? I said, check it. Yes or no? Yes. Is this contract in writing? Why the hell they asked that? Hell no, this contract ain't right. It's verbal, motherfuckers. Somebody, this contract in writing. Hell no.
Smoked them.
Hell no, this contract ain't in writing. This shit verbal. Fuck you talking about? And guess what? I was given
Fire.
$240,000 in tax credits. So it brought my tax liability last year to zero. Now, this is not refundable credits. It just brings your taxes in that amount. So
Mhm.
if your taxes go, it stops at zero. It won't allow you to go below zero because that's when it turns into a credit. So let's just say this is how the corporate world works, though. Y'all about to get advanced tax lesson right now. This is how the corporate world works. So let's say my business, I file a tax and take my depreciations, right? 1 second. And I take my depreciations and I get my tax, right? I get 250,000 in credit. Now, when you take depreciations up to your using your personal property and service of your business, you get up to 1.8 million in credits, right? You get up to 1.8 million. This is why Donald Trump pays no taxes virtually. This is why every corporation does the same thing when they don't pay taxes. They put their personal property in service of their business. You literally pay no taxes. Okay. So let's say I use my depreciations, 250,000. Let's say I don't owe taxes because of that 250,000. But let's just say I'm an investor. I got a securitization vehicle and someone files a claim for 100,000. The borrower figures it out, files the claim for the 100,000 on, let's say, that house. Do you know that the IRS is going to take a portion of that 250,000? Because let's say I did owe 50,000 in taxes, right? But the 250,000 in credits. So it's 50,000 that they're going to pull from that credit, right? So I don't pay taxes. But that extra 200,000, it may not be refundable to the person with the tax credit. But if I'm the corporation and the borrower files as me as the obligor, and they're the one entitled to the proceeds, the IRS is going to take the remaining credits off my business tax return and refund the borrower. Black and white facts. And that's how that works. That's how that works. That's how you get refunders and the proceeds. It's all going to go by the tax credits on the borrowers, the tax credit, on the business, the corporation's tax return. They pull the credit from the corporation tax return to refund the individual. That alone, and it's been operating like that since 1943. So that alone should kill any talk about a secret treasury trust fund account. That should kill it. But why are still people having videos and TikTok still talking about it? That's what I'm saying. You don't know, they don't know securitization, they don't know investments, they don't know about none of that. And if you're not filing your tax return under that umbrella, you're not going to get anything from the IRS, anything from the government. And people that's in my I get black and white results. It's black and white results. Black and white results. And it gets to the point where reading and understanding, that's the difference between people who are successful in these spaces, the ones who are not. It's not because anyone's smarter. It's because the people who are successful displays the traits that make them successful in other aspects of their lives. They're not doing what the norm does. They're stepping outside the box. They're going to go the extra mile. They're going to be innovative. They're going to put the time in. All the traits that you need to be successful in the real world are the same traits that you have to display over here. I don't know why people don't understand that. Like, I don't know why people
That's
think that
fine, my
this,
boy.
they don't, right? I don't know why people come over here thinking that they can just cut corners and cut the line. And one document is going to bring them salvation.
It's a fact.
The same traits that successful people use in real life are the same traits you need over here. I mean, come on.
Yes, sir.
All these tax credits, all that shit is available. All that shit is available. Man, the IRS ain't sent me no letter trying to substantiate nothing. Took a net operating loss of $86,562 last year. You know what that means? I got a carry forward for 2023. I mean, this year. I got to carry forward. You know what that means? $86,562 are now in tax credits for me this year. So if I have a tax liability, that $86,000 is going to be used for that this year. And whatever unused portions, I could just carry it forward. So I'm never going to pay taxes again. But it's not about because I did a status correction. It's not about because I did the affidavit of individual life, live flesh affidavit of this, non-decedent. None of that. Don't need that. You don't need it. But the thing is, tax credits are really available to businesses. Individual tax credits are limited. Earned income tax credit, things like that. But when you file business taxes, or whether you use Form 1120 or the partnership, things like that, it allows you way more credits. It allows you way more offsetting of your tax liability. Prime example, just like backup withholding. When you are an employer of a person based on a W-2 at a job, those withholdings are considered trust funds. So when you don't send that over to the IRS, it's considered, it could they hit you with a trust fund penalty. That's property of the government that you have not turned over to them. See, everybody looks at it as money, but should be looking at it as property. But anyways, so in that instance, they hit you with, hey, where this money at? Now, if you're in a business setting, business transaction setting, and you withheld or were supposed to withhold and send that money to the IRS, if you're in a business setting, that's going to be an expense that you owe. You can write that down. Yeah, you could write that down because in the business, it's not really, you got to know accounting. Business, they use a lot of accrual accounting. So a lot of withholdings are based on speculation that things are going to happen in the future or at the point of sale. But the IRS allows you to get around that on the business side of things. So if I was supposed to withhold 28,000, but I didn't withhold it, that's what I owe now. But I can now deduct that liability based on how I got my business structured and settled. So let's say, prime example, once again, if I withheld 28,000 and this person's supposed to get it, and I write that down on my taxes, the government, once again, same different scenario, same outcome. They're gonna pull the credit from my write down and refund the person the 28,000 to the person.
Yeah,
And it's
that's
so
fire, bro.
right,
That's
but
fire.
bro, people been scaling the world, going from group to group to group to group to group. This channel, that channel, this teacher, spending money here, all to learn something that's already put out there for them. It's in their face. They already told you how to get a refund. They already told you. So unless the teacher is not telling you from their, see, I teach from the IRS standpoint. You know, as I always teach from the government standpoint. I
Yes,
teach
sir.
from the banker standpoint, the securitization, their standpoint, because it's their standpoint that matters. How we see it don't really matter unless we can back it up with what the head honcho says.
And like you said, that's why the emotions gonna kill them every time. The emotions, man, getting all wrapped in their feelings and nah, just play the game. Play their game, but know it. Like know it. Don't half-ass it. Know it, man. Like become it. That's and that's like you say, brother. Like that take time. That take time to become this, bro. This is a lot. That just off just the taxes. Like that's come on, man. Like I hope people listening though. I really do, bro. 'Cause this live right here, you going off. You going off. I was swerving in traffic and everything. I'm like, I got to get on here, bro. You killing it right now, bro. And they not getting it. But I don't know. To each his own, but
Well,
this where you gotta be. This where you gotta be.
well, and it all started for me learning how to listen and follow. Like I didn't just wake up and start teaching. I had to be able to take advice, realize at the time that I know very little about a system that I think I understand. I had to train my mind that this is the long game. I had to be confident in my studies, and I had to be patient because it's not going to happen overnight. But the same principles that how we do things every day without thought now, but we didn't know how to do before, it's the same principles. Repetition. Just keep studying, keep researching. It's going to come to you. It's going to start coming. And this is when you know you're on the right track. When the remedy starts making itself known to you. The remedy is going to start making itself known to you. You're going to be put in places, come across channels, come across teeth. It's going to start coming, drawing itself closer to you versus being on the other side where the remedies teams tends to run away from a lot of people. Want to know why it runs away from them? They get caught up in groups like Tamika, Miss Jackson. You know, they get caught up in other these groups. And what is the number one thing that they always promise in the beginning? It's always some form of a financial gain, big money in an account. It's always financial gain. You want money like this? Join this class. Oh, I get you this money. I get you a check. I get you this. But okay, let's just say that, right? But the key ingredients that's needed to get that is understanding, having knowledge of it, proper interpretation, practice. All these things lead to the, hey, you want the money in your account? Hey, come join this class. You want your account to look like that? And then, you see what I'm saying? But that's all they have is to lure you with financial gains. What about understanding? What about knowledge? So you can duplicate it, so you can pass it down to your kids. Let's say you do get lucky and get a template and was successful. How understand? How can you, like, think about it? How did you get to that conclusion? That's more important than the template itself. What laws did you rely on? And which way did you file? If you don't know that, then how can you really duplicate it? Let's say that template gets lost one day. So I always advocate for people to get the proper foundation and understanding so you won't have to be relying on anyone in the future. One day, everybody that's in my channel, in my Supreme Elite Team group, is going to be teaching someone else some shape, form, or fashion. Whether it's their family, husband, wives, colleagues, one day. And that's what I want. Other teachers, they want you relying on them. They want you to continue to spend money, class after class, the never-ending remedy, 5,000 step process, and you got to pay every step of the way. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm
And
not shaming
draining
it, but
the line.
but the thing about it is they're not getting anything worth their money. They're not getting anything worth their money. They're not getting nothing that's going to
No,
sustain their
never.
soul.
Nope. And that's what this is about. That's what it's about right there.
Their
And like
remedy,
I heard you mention a few times,
right?
bro. It be a lot of people's mindset, like you said too, that lead them to the teacher that's leading them down the effery as well. You feel what I'm
Yes,
saying? That
yes,
you in it for the wrong things. And the
yeah.
wrong things lead you down the wrong path. But it's what you want to hear, like you said, with that upfront gratification or what's gonna happen in 30 days. We just gonna do this, do that, and it's never that. Never.
I wish it was. In the perfect world, I wish it was. Uh-huh. In the perfect world, I actually wish that was true. So I just like to bring awareness to people because it's like I'm not. You spend your money with who you want. You're spending money with. That's your hard-earned money. I can't decide that. It'll be foolish for me to even think that I can. But just ask more questions before you spend your money. Prime example. If anyone is telling you, hey, I know how to deal with mortgages, the first thing you need to be asking is, what is your experience in this? Have you been in a courtroom setting with this? Or have you discharged it out of court? Do you have success in it? One. If they don't, that's not the end all be all. Okay. It's not that don't necessarily mean that they can't be successful, but maybe they just good at interpretation. Maybe they don't know how to put it all together on paper, but they know how to statutes and that's just as good. So let's say they don't have results. Let's give them that. Let's give them that. What information did you rely on? What authority did you come under? If they can't explain that to you and break it down to you, then it's like all you're doing is just betting. It's just you're just being a guinea pig. You're paying them to try some shit out on your case. And that's what I see a lot because I've asked these people, all these channels, oh, you know how to discharge mortgages. I got this, Tim, I got this. And I've always come on their channels and I ask, can you show any type of results from what you're selling to people? And their moderators either block me or some people say, one of their little minions, you got to believe, you ain't got no faith. Why the fuck I'm going to have faith what this person is saying? Don't know him from a can of paint, but he can't even answer a simple question about something that you are teaching, which means you're deeming to be somewhat of an expert. The teacher always has 1,000,001 questions by the students. They always have them. And you're supposed to ask questions without being getting jumped on for asking them. Because these are legit questions.
They gaslight you and everything, bro.
Yeah,
As the other day, gaslight the hell out you.
for asking questions. And it is crazy because when you, it's like, come on, man. It's just certain things are just common sense. Certain things are common sense. And all I'm just telling the people is don't look at what can possibly be. Don't just look at, oh, this person said I can get $500,000 back. Oh, I can take that 500,000, pay this off and do that. Because that's what people tend, they start to spend the money in their mind before they get it. Don't look at what's possible. Look at what's probable. Vet the authority that they're quoting. Vet the information that they're relying on you. Make sure they have the perfect interpretation. And if you don't understand it like that, then you should be able to ask clarifying questions. And if they're not answering it in a way where you can understand or at least get an idea or a picture, then you should not spend your money with them. And I'm not talking about using AI to answer the questions for you. Go into the regulations. Go dig deep into them RC balance sheets. Dig deep into the SEC filers. Dig deep into the statutes. Dig deep into the black and white facts. Dig deep into the acts of Congress that even set the laws that they're implementing today. If they can't trace it all the way back to its original source, that should let you know everything you need to know. I never teach anything that I cannot trace back to its original source and show black and white proof, even the authority or the regulation or any type of personal results. Because at the and if I don't have any of those, then I'm going to let you know, y'all, this is just a theory. This is just what it is, but this is what I'm relying on. I'm going to let you know ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? Because there could be some good shit where, like, shit, the information still get information. Haven't done it myself yet, but I'm still researching. Hey, I've been researching for 6 months. Y'all want to get in on this? See where it goes. But you got to make the distinction as a teacher. And too many people have letting these teachers get off the hook by not making them stand on a business. If they're going to get mad at you and gaslight you and block you because you ask the questions, want to see proof, what person who's spending their money would not want to see proof? That is natural. Everybody want to see proof. Everybody want to see success. Just like with a lawyer. Hey, man, you ever dealt with a murder case before? Oh, yeah, I've been in here for 25 years. I tried to have a successful in few. But I get the other side. No one can actually ever guarantee any specific outcome. You know what I'm saying? I can't guarantee that, okay, I take on your case in a week, or we're going to get it thrown out in court. I can't guarantee that. But what I like to do is give all my people multiple options to attack it. So if you don't win in court, okay, we'll appeal. We'll go this way. Oh, we don't win with that. Okay, we're going to go this. We at least going to have about 7, 8, tricks up our sleeve, keeping the options alive. But too many with these teachers, brother, it's just one and done. They load up on that first filing. Soon as that first filing don't come through, everybody running for the hills. And I find it odd that your the students' communication with the teacher up until they give them their money is perfect. You notice that, right? Oh, it's perfect. They emailing back and forth, but as soon as you give them their money, it's always that you can never get a hold of them again. They don't ever respond to the email. When you call them, they always seem like you bugging them. You know what I'm saying? Like you getting on their nerves. They don't like you asking questions. And then when you send that document off because what you paid them for, what was supposed to discharge whatever you had going on, when it don't work, what do they always say? Shit, you supposed to do your research. You paid for a document. I gave it to you. You're supposed to research and figure out how to use it. What? That's what they all say. And then soon as inevitably what's going to happen is they're going to end up blocking you. After you didn't come through what they paid you for, they're going to end up blocking you. When you get on their channel and say, y'all tried that shit, it ain't work, they block you. And they only go on the panel because they stop answering their phone calls and maybe block them. Hold on, y'all. Look how sorry these motherfuckers are. They will take your money, knowing this shit ain't gonna work. You send it off. You get a rejection letter. You let them know. They stop answering your phone calls or text you some stupid shit back. Shit, I did what I was supposed to do. You paid for a document. Shit, I ain't shit. You ain't paying me to show you how to use it. You just paid for the document. Right. And then when which is natural, you go on there live and show your distaste, letting them know, hey man, that shit ain't work, you scam me. What do? They block you. Or if they was working on some shit for you, they'll try to dox you, put your address out there. They'll put your address out there. Like, and start talking bad and gaslighting you because your shit ain't work. What you're really mad is you don't want any other person to not get that bogus ass document from you. So you're mad at them for really pulling the cloak off you. Some sorry motherfuckers in this space. It's that sucker shit. Take a person money in their face. Don't take it under no sly false pretenses. Take it in their face. Sucker shit. And they know that shit not doing work, and they still gonna take people's lives. They ain't got no shame. One thing I know is about these teachers ain't got no shame. They ain't got nothing that they look in the mirror and be like, damn, bro, you wrong as shit. They ain't got no conviction. Nothing. But you will notice why, not just me, other members of this channel starting to get remedy. People in my group came through big time, got off her rental case. Bam, we hit that. She learned the accounting from our group. Bam, spanked them on that. And other results and other things that got people outside these spaces in the real world trying for me. Those things are looking good. You notice how the whole aura over here. Now, look to the left. All you gotta do is look to the left. Same old shit. Ain't nothing changed. Same old shit. Ain't got a result yet. Motherfuckers been in this space 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. Ain't got a result yet. Nothing yet. Ain't got nothing done yet. And it all boils down to the original mindset when they came in these spaces. Don't want to take the time to go through that learning curve when you're studying, researching, putting your heads in the books. Everybody has to go through that phase. Everybody must go through that phase. It may be the less fun phase, maybe the less, but let me tell you this. Getting a remedy, it's going to be fun for about a week. After that is on to the next. Trust me, when everybody gets it, or those who got it already, you already know that shit good for a week. Because I'm going to tell you like this. There's no process out here that's going to ever allow you to tap into 100 million or all this other shit. Not the way these people go about it. So this is not a place where it's going to take care of the rest of your life or you ain't got to work. This is only getting back out what you put in. Like, let's say you get 175,000 back. Let's say off a mortgage set off, or you filed the right claims. That's only 175,000. Now I get it. That's a nice chunk. But remember, your expenses don't go away with that 175,000. And then the more we make, the more we can afford, the more we want. No, you get it. You get a $175,000 check, but your expenses are still what they are. You still got to pay your expenses. So if you ain't got no other supplemental income coming in outside that 175, that 175 is going to be depleted fast. So it's all about looking at both sides of the coins. I know a lot of people think this is a place to come to get your whole life back on track and get all. No, it's really not. It's really not. And what you get back, I swear to God, even if it's 6 figures, it probably won't last you the rest of your life. You still got to go out there and hustle. You may have seed money now. You can invest now. You can change your occupation. You may could be more flexible. But it's not like that's it. My whole life's over. I can retire now. No, it's not that. And I'm putting that out there so these idiot teachers and these other groups will stop shaming people who to go to fuck to work every day. Like that's so wrong. Oh, you supposed to be living out your trust. Shut your broke ass up. You ain't got shit. Students got more money than the teacher. Well, depending on how you look at it, that ain't a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with going to work every day. It's nothing wrong with it. Millions of people do it every day. It's nothing wrong with it. At least you're being productive with your time. And even if you only got enough money to pay your rent, your mortgage, your credit card, and all that other stuff, you broke out there, well, at least you're responsible enough and taking care of your responsibilities first. And shit, you can't be broke if you got enough money to do that. To handle your responsibilities. You can't be broke if you can do that. all this $150 million dreams. Everybody's supposed to be a millionaire. And if you're not buying a house out of your non-existent treasury trust fund account, then you ain't got shit in life. That is some of the most ridiculous shit that I've ever heard these people say. But if you ask them, where their $150 million at? You ask them where yours at. I bet you they ain't got an answer for you. Because it goes back to the need to believe it. Do you know how many young people has fallen into this trap? And it's so dangerous. We fall into this trap because it gets people to start being lazy. Like they don't have to be productive in real life. It gets them to all bet their retirement, put all their eggs in this $150 million bond that's never going to come. So now they start looking down on doing what you have to do now till you put yourself in a better position. Now they're lazy. Now they're just all being desperate to get there so they can compensate for their laziness. I get tired of hearing these people talk down about people who go to work every day. That shit is crazy. My mom bust her ass with 3 kids with 2 jobs, sometimes overnight. Tired of busting your ass for tired of talking down on people who go to work every day. That shit is crazy. That shit is crazy. Shout out to the one. Appreciate you with the super duper. Shout out to you, broski. Got you too, bro. I got you. If you text me back, I'll get back to it. But I got you. We on the same page. We on the same page. And the one, I'm going to have to issue you a contract for that. Because it's a lot of little, extra stuff on the back end that I see coming back to you. So I just want to get a little contract, make sure, everybody's rights are protected. But yeah, but that's where it's at. Y'all do not listen to these people that keep selling you these 1099 pipe dreams, that keep selling you these big old $100 million pipe dreams. It's not going to happen. It's nothing wrong with working, getting your credit score up. It may not be what you want to do right now, but trust me, every billionaire that you see right now, every millionaire that you see right now, have mastered the art of eating shit and liking how it tastes at some point. Because we all got to eat shit at some point. So if you're at a job that you don't like right now, that's you eating shit. You got to pay your dues. You got to pay your dues. And sometimes we can't keep complaining about the cards that we have. Like playing spades. The highest card I got is a jack. You know what I'm going to do? I ain't going to complain about it. I know it may be board set, but I'm going to try to steal a book. I'm going to throw that 10 out there to try to trick up his king, hoping my partner got an ace to put on top of it. Oh, shit. The king, the queen, and the ace of heart was already played. I got a winner in my hand. I got a jack. Let me hold on to this motherfucker. Sometimes you got to maneuver with the cards you got. Don't look to the left, compete with this person. Don't look to the right, compete with that person. Only person you be competing with who you was the day before. How can I do better? How can I be better? What can I do today? What can I learn today new? But everybody think every new day just promised to them. I'm just promised. Hey, wake up in the morning, don't say your prayers, don't give thanks, don't do this. I just know, yeah, this is supposed to happen. Right. Like all that shit, bro. All this stuff, all this stuff plays a factor. Because let's say you work your credit score up and you're approved for a $750,000 mortgage. Like $500,000 mortgage. And you got to end up paying, what is the normal? Let's say you got to $500,000. Let's say you got to pay $600,000 back. Let's just say that. Keep it simple. There's nothing wrong with working. Now, at closing, the receivables and the payables are already set off. We know that. We know that. We know it. This is where that eating shit comes into play at. Because at closing, you may be able to file some pre-closing documents and they may honor it at the closing table, but let's just say they don't. Let's just say they don't. At least you got an attempt to handle it. So you just make a copy of it. They don't want to honor it. Cool. That's cool. It's nothing wrong with you paying your monthly bills, your monthly mortgage payment. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong. Go ahead and do it. You got to keep a roof over your head. Don't get down on it. Because if you had to, like, I hope you did not build your credit score up just to be able to get approved for this, just because you think you was going to set it all off in 30 days so you ain't got no backup plan. No. So I'm hoping that you make enough money to pay your mortgage off for the year anyway. At the end of the year, you file your claim with the IRS. You file for the excess plus the monthly mortgage payment. So let's just say that happens, right? Now, once you get a part of that refund, what do? You take whatever you was going to pay for that year or more, throw it on your mortgage. Now, let's say you got to pay $27,000 a year in mortgage. Now, part of your refund went there, and the other part, you could probably make some investments. You probably got a little business you want to get off the ground. You brought inventory to bring some passive income in. Maybe you and your wife or you and your husband do a little online business. You get the logistics set up and all that. Now you got a little passive income coming in. But for that next year, your mortgage is already paid for the year. Your credit score is going to go through the roof. And guess what? That is one of the major bills that we're ever going to have. And you got a whole 12 months where you ain't got to worry about it. You know how many millions of Americans would want to be in your position just for 30 days, let alone 12 months? You know how much money you're going to save? That's $27,000 that you have that you can allocate elsewhere. Like what the, you know what type of position that you're putting yourself in, and then you rinse and repeat? So that's 27,000 times 30, because guess what? After you take a part of that and you give them the 27,000 for the whole year, guess what you do? You just rinse and repeat. You rinse and repeat. Remember, the contract's for 30 years. You rinse and repeat. So you have effectively taken your property out of the risk of being foreclosed on. Number one, stress has decreased. You ain't got to worry about the possibility of being foreclosed. So that house is secured. Now you're saving $27,000 a year. Come on, man. That's more of a realistic situation than me coming up here telling y'all about the $250 million pipe dreams. That's realistic. That's realistic. And be honest with you, according to the IRS, that's the only thing that's going to happen. And there's nothing wrong with it. Getting back what you paid for, which was already set off at the beginning. It's nothing wrong with that. Getting back what you paid for. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. You know how many millions of Americans want to have that, be in that position? And then you can duplicate it not just for yourself, duplicate it for your loved ones, duplicate it for your friends. I mean, whether you want to charge them or not, that's your decision. And it's real. It's legit. Black and white. It's legit. Not only the information, the outcome from it too. Black and white evidence I have. Whether you want to see the regulations whether it's the regulations or it's the check, whatever one, still have it to show. Of course, I'm not going to put it on YouTube, but the private Supreme, the private groups and private, yeah. But it's not no big alchemy or some secret. It's all understanding your position in the securitization, what leads to this all. And I believe that everyone with an auto, with a mortgage, who work to pay their bills, whether they struggle to pay or pay with ease, I believe everyone should be entitled to get back what they put in. Even if you got to pay it on it every year and then recoup at the end. You loaning them your money, you loaning them your credit during the year, and you getting it recouped back to you at the end when the books close. I don't see nothing wrong with it. Remember I said you have to loan the banks your money for that year. You got to pay your bills for the year. Pay your bills for the year. Don't not pay your bills. You lose when you don't pay your bills. Pay your bills, recoup. I don't care if it's a credit card. I don't care if it's an auto. I don't care if it's a mortgage. It's all the same principles, just different players. But it's the same game. Shit, let me know when you do the video. I'll pull up. Pay, recoup, repay, repeat. That's the triple R P. That's the P triple R. I gotta come up with a term from it. The PR, the PR double, PR double R, or the PR double, or the P triple R, or the triple RP. Yeah, or the P triple R, whatever you want to call it. But that's what it is. Because as long as you got that cash receipt, you're always entitled to a claim. And this is where understanding accounting comes in at. This is where understanding accounting. Because once they take your deed of trust and note and convey it to the trust, now that's collateral and you're really liable on the mortgage-backed securities that they issue. They have modified it and converted it. Once they put pay to the order on the note, they have turned the promise to pay into an order to pay. Once they do certain acts like that, if you understand the accounting, which I tell everybody to read, the ASC, it tells you once those situations happen, then the borrower can de-recognize the liability on their books, regardless if the lender personally released them from the contract or not. So when we do our books, send our books to the IRS, this liability has been set off on the books. Just like they de-recognize their liabilities to us when they move it to an off-balance sheet ledger. And that usually happens at closing. So at closing, your claim is no longer with the lender. Everybody keep going back to the lender, like they got like they hold those other sets of books. And this is where understanding securitization comes in at. Because when you understand securitization, you'll realize that the books are being moved off the books on a consolidated basis. Whoever is paying the investors is the one that's holding the books. That's who your claim is really against. But when they file their balance sheet, they're filing it on a consolidated basis. Prime example, JP Morgan Securities Trust, special purpose vehicle, JP Morgan, JP Morgan JP Morgan Acquisition Corporation, special purpose vehicle, JP Mortgage Securities Trust, that's the issuing entity. But when they all file their balance sheet, when they file their tax return at the end of the year, it's all filed under JP Morgan. Consolidated. And this would allows the banks to get around the laws where they cannot engage in investment activities or hold property for more than 5 years. So they get it and resell it. This is why your mortgages, autos, credit cards are trading securities. Why do you think when it says payoff statement, why do you think your payoff statement is different from what you would have paid off? Why do you think your payoff statement is good for, is good for, uh, you know, it's good for this day? Because remember, on their balance sheet is property that's held for payoff, AKIE investment. So that payoff statement is an investment security. And that's the time frame that you got to pay off the account, because they're going to do their adjustments and prorate up until that point, until it expires. This is why you don't really hear mortgages, promissory notes so much. That's not the heading they use. You understand? They're securities in which they trade in. That's why they call them trading securities. This is why whenever you look at a bank's balance sheet, all the assets that they get from mortgage collections and all that, you notice that RC balance sheets, line 12, you notice all their mortgage, all their assets, everything that they collect from us. Where'd you go?
Exactly.
It's gonna be okay, Lila. That's why they say all the assets on line 12 must be equal to the liabilities on line 29. So that you know, the assets and liabilities must match. Which remained in equity. Whose equity is it? I'll let you figure that one out. So that's letting you know right now, the banks ain't making no money. They don't loan you nothing. Their books are never supposed to be in on the same. If they loan you all that money, all those assets should be outstanding. It should be reflected. It's never reflected on the end of the year statement that they send to the investors or shareholders. Where's it at? Over there in that balance sheet over there, off balance sheet, and they got to file it quarterly with the FDIC. So they can hide it from us. They can't hide it from the IRS and the government. This is why the IRS knows these things. When you come properly, they refund you. They already know it. But I don't know now. I'm just running my mouth right now. Sorry for talking your heads off. But that's going to be, I'm going to land that plane right there. I'm going to land that plane right there. 2025 is fastly approaching, y'all. It's already here in my eyes. We're turning a new chapter. I think we made a lot of progress this year, 2024. The awareness got more. A lot of these scammers lost a lot of money thanks to this channel. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. A lot of people are waking up, becoming smarter, being more aware. A lot of people are starting to see the light and come to the realization that this is not going to be an overnight process. It's not going to be a 30-day thing. This is not going to be quick, fast, and easy, but that's okay. That's not even the bad thing. And they're starting to get the proper foundation, the proper understanding, the proper knowledge, so they can now have more realistic expectations. So it's a lot of work still to be done, but we are moving the movement, the culture forward. It's going to be a lot of big things from this channel 2025. We're going to be doing a lot of things, and we will be opening our very first office in 2025 where you can walk in. We will be opening our office next year. The plan in the future is to have them have an office in all the hot spots where people in these spaces at. Have one to start one there. They can't go 20, 30. We're just gonna start with one, then we're gonna move to the next one. We're gonna try to have it where, different areas, because the people live in different coasts, but 25, you actually will be able to come see me in person at my office. and we're going to continue to push the culture forward, expanding the platform. We're going to start seeing, I'm going to have more panel like. We're going to have a lot more people over here, other people in these spaces that are not really, you don't know them, but they knowledgeable about this stuff that I respect. These people have been successful as well. I'm going to start having them on the panel, giving y'all different perspectives, different ideas. And we're going to continue to push the culture forward. So anything we can do. We're not going to be worried about their pipe dreams, everybody they selling. We just going to worry about what we doing. And the truth is always going to reveal itself. No matter how much people try to hide it, the truth